approval of the minutes. Hi, welcome everybody. I want to welcome you to the July 26th Architecture Review Board meeting via Zoom. Our first order of business today will be the approval of the July 5th meeting, which was originally scheduled for June 28th. Can I have a motion? Mary, I think you're muted.
Yes, I just have a tiny correction.
Okay.
Under 6AR 4-22, the third bullet point, it says deck will be flush with sliding glass door. Should add the word threshold after that. Excellent. Now I move to approve the minutes.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, please note that the minutes are approved for our July 5th June meeting. First order of business is old business 6AR-6-21, 1835 Monroe Avenue. The Cabot Group modified approved facade improvements from 2021 to Brighton Commons. Is anyone from the Cabot Group here?
Yes, Bruce Hunt is here.
Okay.
Thank you for adding me to the agenda. I would like to apologize for taking up your time at the last meeting I was at. I did not have enough information, and that was obvious. So we went back to our architect, and I believe we resolved some of the issues that you had with our plan to move to a metal ACM panel on the north elevation versus using the IFAS on the entire length of that section of building. There was a concern about the how we're going to tie the panel into the IFAS, and I think we've come up with a good plan now. On either end, we will have one section of the IFAS installed, and then there will be an ACM facade that'll be framed out to tie everything together. And the ACM panel that we chose is a larger panel that'll have the same sectional cuts as the ACM does in the plaza, or the IFAS does in the plaza, I'm sorry. And it's of the same color as other ACM in the plaza. So I think it all wraps together really nice.
Oh, I thought it was white.
No, not white. You should have a sample there, I think, that was dropped off at the town.
Yeah, the second page in the PDF did say bone white, but the drawings indicate, or at least the existing drawings did indicate aluminum.
Okay, that's what threw me off.
Clear
Thanks.
aluminum.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's what threw me off. Thanks, Casey.
yeah, so clear aluminum to match what was already submitted for the rest of the building, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
So it should all match very well. You know, the last time we came here, we had a metal product that really wasn't adequate. We eventually agreed with that.
Anyone have any questions? Fran?
Nope, I'm all good, Stuart. Thanks.
Casey?
No, I think I'm good. It's definitely an improvement and it ties it much better into the rest of the building, so thank you.
Mary?
Fine, thank you.
Andrew?
I'm good.
Brian?
Looks good, thank you.
Bruce, I want to thank you for coming in, and you can call Jeff's office in the morning and get our final answer.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank you. Jason, quick question. Should I be referring them to your office or Jeff's?
My office is fine, but they'll find me no matter what, so that's not a big
Okay.
deal.
Next on our agenda is new business. 7AR 22. -1-22 200 Weymouth Drive. Tim and Colleen Weber construct a front porch on existing single-family home. Are the Webers here?
Tim is, yep, I'm here.
Okay, why don't you go ahead?
So we are, the front of our house is almost all garage. And I don't know if you have seen photos of that. There you go. And what we're looking to do is give our front entrance some prominence. The door there is kind of hidden. And when you come up to the door and open that storm door, you have to step backwards and you're right on the edge of that step. So we're looking to accomplish a couple things. Make the front entrance, give it some front entrance, some prominence, have a porch there that pulls that step out away from the door to make it safer, make it look nice, give us a place to sit down and be neighborly. Kind of, boils down to that. It would include the stone that you see in there. We cut back into the roof so that that stone that sets back, that'll be at that same wall face where that door is. And then it would go up into, I think you can kind of see it there on the right-hand side, lower right. That's what we're trying to do there. So we got to cut into the roof to make that happen. And then the stone would all match the stone that's on the garage. The porch itself would come out to the two columns that we have with a stone base, stone cap. I'd want to do, the floor itself would be a slate in nature. A stamped concrete or a slate would be, to match what I have there currently, would be great. That's what I'm looking for. The roof would match the roof that we have. It would all be trimmed out with I think it's Aztec PVC type material. And then I provided the catalog cuts for the stone as well, which is a cultured stone. And that's actually, that's up against our house color there. Figured that was better than the catalog cut itself. I thought it represents the color better.
Okay, Fran, do you have any questions?
Yeah, what is the underside, the exposed ceiling beneath the overhang?
It would be a beadboard, which I think in this millwork you might have an image of that as well. And what I'd want to do is a couple of recessed puck lights, and then have some options, where we could do the recessed lighting or have a single light kind of hanging and turn either one of those on.
Okay.
For whatever ambience we're looking for, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. No, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Casey?
Fran asked my only question. It looks nice. Thank you.
Mary?
I have a question about the piers with the veneer stone on them. Rather than sitting on the lower step, you have the veneer coming on the outside of the steps, and then it stops short. And so you have this kind of exposed gum thing going on down there. I just wondered why that decision. So it actually just ends, the veneer just ends short of the ground.
So grade would come up to that, and I wouldn't want that to look like it's hanging in the air.
Right, so I'm just wondering why you didn't just set them on the lower step and cut away the landing. I was just curious what drove that decision, because it looks like it's missing a base this way to me. I don't know if anybody else. considers that an issue.
Wishing I had my architect here with me. He specifically talked about that, and I'm trying to recall the language that he used to get. He wanted to make sure that those had some weight to it. And if you go to the plan, it sticks out from the step, I believe.
Yeah, I see that it sticks
Yeah,
out from the step.
I don't, yeah.
I mean, part of it might be if they did set it back, so it sits flush with the concrete, then you would have the full height of the concrete exposed where there wasn't a step. So maybe they were just trying to kind of conceal.
And I think it helps create some dimension there too, next to the step, by having it stick out a little bit from the step.
Which step are we talking about?
It'd be the bottom step there.
It just looks to me like they're missing a base, and there's always a concern with having the veneer running right into the ground. Just ending in the ground, but it was just a question.
Yeah.
That's all I had, Stuart.
Okay, Andrew?
Well, on that note, I think one solution to that may be to actually put a natural stone as a base stone to your cultured stone. So your natural stone can touch the ground, so you don't have moisture contact with your stone veneer, and that could solve the issue and provide that base. I agree. I mean, it cannot hang. It should not be hanging above the grade. And number two, you can't have soil contact with that stone veneer. Otherwise, you're going to have moisture wicking up into your stone veneer. So
Yeah.
there's a couple different solutions, but I think that can be resolved. My question about the gutters is there's a note that it does say that you can reslope the gutter and or provide new downspouts as required. Jason, could you pull the existing photograph back up again, please? So the downspout run for the front, you have, doesn't even appear, it's not on the corner. How about the inside corner of the garage and house?
There's one at both ends of that front face.
There is? Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to see because we painted it the same color as the house.
Okay, excellent. And that was exactly going to be my comment, that if you do have to put gutters onto this new addition, they should not be readily visible
Yeah.
if possible.
Oh, believe me, my wife will be all over that.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's excellent. And I guess my last question is, the stone veneer that you have selected, that matches your existing stone veneer on the garage?
Correct.
Or is it
Correct.
it's the same material?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, otherwise, I think this looks pretty good.
And I appreciate the comment on that base, a natural stone there. By all means, I am happy to add that.
It just needs a little punctuation.
Yeah, understood. Makes sense.
Brian, any questions?
I just had one on the section view. We were just talking about the stone veneer going down. In the section view, it looks like the stone veneer covers the slab on the sides. Is that what I'm looking at? You guys see that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does it do it on just the sides and not the front? Or does it do it on the front as well?
It would do it on the front as well. You're talking about the stone veneer, kind of where it drops down below the slab right there.
Yeah.
It would maintain that same elevation around, with exception to where you've got a walking surface. I would want that same elevation coming around the front side as well. But it comes off that front step to add some dimension there.
So Mary, your question was, it doesn't look like it's got a base there, like there's no
Yeah.
separation. Okay.
Well, also because of the wicking that Andrew mentioned, it just needs,
Yeah.
Right.
it looks unfinished.
Yeah. Can certainly
Okay.
add that there. That's no problem.
All right, I'm all set. Thank you.
All right, I just got 2 points or 2 questions for you. You can always carry your bottom step across the front of that pier as well, instead of,
Yeah,
that may work as a base, but you may also get some wicking. Just the only thing I catch on the existing house is you got a vent stack to the right of your proposed gable. Just want to
Mhm.
make sure your draft isn't changing, that's still a positive draft on that.
Correct. We'll be able to avoid that.
Yeah, so just make sure your architect checks that, otherwise
Yeah.
Your first floor bathroom won't smell very good on certain days. So
No.
that's all I have. I think this was a pretty good presentation and appreciate your thoroughness.
Well, thank
So
you very
can-
much.
You can call Jason's office in the morning to get our answer,
Okay.
and appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Next on our agenda is 7AR-2-22, 24 Hemingway Drive, Randall Peacock. Construct addition to an existing attached garage on a single family dwelling. Is Randall here?
I am here.
Hi, welcome.
Hey, good evening, Stuart, and the rest of the board members. This is a fascinating project they have before you. We had a zoning board of appeals meeting recently, and they granted a variance to meet the setbacks that we're doing here. These are these lovely houses on Hemingway that have no basements. They're all slab on grade. And my client would like to enlarge her garage. We're extending it over, I think it's 6 feet or something like that, 6.7 feet. 6'8" inches, 6.6 feet. I'm just going to extrude the existing house, same roof detail as what's on there now. I noticed, Jason, you have the older drawing there. Did you have the new ones I sent to you? That would be better. As of late last week, my client asked me to go to a 14-foot overhead door, and the overhead door that I had on the initial application ended up being a $19,000 overhead door, which is something I'm really good at, picking the most expensive thing out there. This is more like a $2,700 overhead door, which works a little better in the budget for the project. This one's a CHI model 2250 in an almond, desert tan color, which matches the trim on the house. We are going to move take the siding off of the side of the house and reuse that on the front. So the front siding will match. We'll match it with a similar 5-inch exposure, same color vinyl down the side and the back. The roofing will be matched in there. They'll end up taking that roof off all the way back to the left side of the garage door you see in that elevation on the front of you right now. Those roofs on those houses are way scary underframed. They're 2x6 rafters, and that little hip and the little gable poking up there. I look at it and I go, man, I just can't believe this stuff that's it. Yeah, I can't believe this stuff stands there. There's one 2x6 rafter with a couple of 2x6 horizontal that pick up the hip rafters and then pick up those rafters that run down the side. So we're changing that structure a little bit in the process of doing this. The driveway is already as wide as what's here. That was part of our variance application. She had somebody repave the driveway a couple years ago, and they enlarged it and did not get a permit. So we corrected that with the there it is there. Yeah, we corrected that with the zoning board of appeals. That is probably I think there's one light fixture. You can see there's a just a two-headed
Yeah.
Real right there in the center spot, and we're just going to replace that with a similar one. And I noticed on the previous drawing that you were looking at, I didn't move it over. It'll be centered in the door when we move it over. It's just got a motion sensor and a spot on it. So that kind of gives you the lay of the land there.
Thank you, Randall. Fran, you have any questions?
There's another addition in the back, right? Or,
That is not going to happen.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
that's,
originally discussed, but not gonna go forward.
all right. I don't have any other questions then. Thank you.
Thank you. Casey?
Yeah, Jason, can you go to the new drawings and just go to the south side elevation, just so we can see if anything changed on that sheet?
Give me a moment. I gotta pull that up, but the
That
one
stays the same.
Okay. Okay, so it still has the one window and then, what was that?
Yeah, I didn't give them an update on that sheet because it didn't change, so.
Okay, perfect. So the one window and then the kind of the end of the roof detail stays the same.
I had a long discussion with my client about the window. She didn't want a window there, and I said, I know the Brighton Architecture Review
Yeah, you
Board.
do.
They're going to want a window there. And so
Well
thank you for
done.
bringing that up and reinforcing the advice. You know, I can only give advice. I can't make people take it, but so.
Yeah, no, it looks good. So thank you. No questions.
Thank you, Casey. Mary?
Could we look at the photo a second, Jason, please? I just wanted to ask Randy, is the corner of the garage at the edge of the driveway there?
Yes, it'll be
Okay.
right about the edge of the driveway. Yep.
And then is the property line at the bottom of the slope?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
you can see where that fence kind of bottoms
Yeah.
out in the back there. That's where the property line is there. We still have, I think it's 5 feet to the property line.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know out of curiosity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary. Andrew?
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, Brian?
Looks good. I'm all set. Thanks.
And I don't have any questions either. So Randy, you can call Jason's office in the morning, get our answer.
I'd be happy to.
Yep, appreciate your presentation.
You're welcome. Take care.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is 7-3-2258 Sunset Drive, James Coburn. Rebuild front stoop on existing family dwelling.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. Thank you guys for taking a look at this. So the existing condition is that photo on the bottom right there. We bought the house as a flip 4 years ago, and I think he put a couple of little steps at that front door, and they're just hard to maneuver going into that porch, and that is the door that we use every day. So my goal is to get a landing at that stair and then have a set of stairs going to the front and a set of stairs going to the back. All the finishes would be Trex, or I think I have it on that drawing there. It's all composite material and vinyl railings in gray and white, and then the pickets would be black to match the existing siding on the house in gray. So no changes to roof line. It's really just a landing and a set of stairs to the front and a set of stairs to the back.
Sorry about that. Thank you. Fran, any questions?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. So the fully enclosed skirt, what is the material for that skirt?
It's the same manufacturer as that Fiberon composite decking, and it will be ribbed. If I can, let me see if I have something better from the builder's description. He calls it a full composite skirt with hidden fasteners. So I think if I understand it correctly, it's going to be vertically ribbed, but not as wide as the deck board. So it's probably like a 4-inch ribbed skirt system.
Okay. And in the photo you have of the actual product, the RDL vinyl clad railing that has a very small profile top
Picket.
and well, the top rail. And I know in the elevation that's drawn, it's pretty
bigger.
beefy. So what is the intent?
The image is more accurate. I drew this long before the builder arrived and said, hey, why don't we use an RDL vinyl clad?
Okay. Okay, that's those are the only questions I have. Thank you.
Okay, Casey?
Yeah, so starting kind of with the plan view, I know in the photo, it looks like the enclosed porch, there's maybe a foot or two of a recess between the enclosed porch and the adjacent house, but the plan shows it flushed out. So how are you dealing with that in reality?
Yeah, I just don't have it right. The porch is probably pushed back, but I can double check the dimensions and update the drawing. So the landing would follow the contour of that setback. So I think the 5 foot is probably correct off of the face. And then, so it would actually be deeper where the door is.
So then the stairs headed out to the front
Would be
yard,
wider.
they get wider.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. The 5 foot mark, wherever that ends up being measured from, where does that actually land you in comparison with the driveway?
It's almost, go back to that photo, or yeah, the photo is probably easiest. It's almost exactly where, scroll down a smidge more to the existing photo. It's almost exactly where there's a concrete pad that stops right there. Yep, there's blacktop to concrete. That's the 5 foot mark.
Okay, so I mean, you've lived in this house for a few years, it sounds like, right?
4, yes.
Okay, so how do you do your plowing? I guess that's a huge concern right here. It's just that you're gonna, whether it's you plowing or someone professionally, you're right on top of your driveway.
Yeah, I snow blow. So yeah, I kind of split it in half, right? I send some to the side very carefully by the house in this image to the left, and then the rest goes back into the right behind the house. And then from this new porch forward, of course, I can shoot it into the front yard. So,
okay. But you don't
but
have any concerns with actually hitting it, swiping it. I guess I just don't want you getting so close to your driveway.
Yeah. No, I understand. I thought about that too for a bit, and then I've paid attention. I drew this quite a while ago, and I've paid attention to how often we come close to that. And you'll see a planter in that existing photo that has been there for 4 years, and we've never hit that. So, and it stays there all winter too. So I feel pretty comfortable that it wouldn't be, I don't think we'd be banging into it.
Okay.
I don't know, when the kids start driving in 8 years, I don't know. Maybe it'll have to be a lesson to watch out for our porch, but
there you go.
Erica and I have been fine so far.
Okay. And then it sounds like that side view, everything will be fully enclosed with that vertical panel you were talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
And I agree with Fran. I like the image that you included more than what you've drawn with the thinner top rail. So yeah, I think maybe just make sure, double check those dimensions and kind of your recess versus your main house, and kind of get that squared away so that you're, that the landing kind of comes inward and your front stairs get a little wider to accommodate the recess. But I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. Mary?
Yeah, that navigating that bump out was my major concern. I also wanted to ask if you plan on having a landing on the forward steps, at the bottom of the forward steps.
Yes, it's also in our plan to redo the driveway, a full tear out once this is done. And I'd either have the driveway, I'm not widening the driveway, but I might try to just have it swoop over so that the blacktop goes right to the bottom step, or we'll put in pavers or some kind of a small landing at the bottom of those steps.
Okay, thank you. I'm all
Uh,
set.
Andrew?
Yeah, I think a lot of the questions that I had have already been asked. Just as a point of, just a point, treatment underneath this addition, are you planning on putting a solid surface underneath that? Are you keeping the concrete landing there? It's a small space. I don't know what's underneath the covered porch area, but
I
you
do.
definitely want to make sure that you have drainage taken care of underneath this piece, so you don't create a small catchment area
Sure.
for moisture and such. So
Yeah, no, point taken, and it exists right now as a puddle when it rains right at the bottom of those steps. So we'll definitely gonna be trying to fix that before we cover it up. So I don't know if I don't think the builder is planning to, pour new concrete slab of any sort. I think we'd leave what's there and try to add to it just to make sure that we're sloping away from the house.
okay, very good. And I don't have any further questions from that.
Thank you, Andrew. Brian?
I think I'm set. I just have a general question. What's the frost line in New York State? Is it 36 inches? I'm just
Yep.
looking at the posts are 42.
42,
Should they be
yeah.
40? Shouldn't they be 48?
36 to 48.
Yeah, I thought it was
Okay.
48 as well. Unless
I
they,
I
Forty-eight.
thought it was 48.
unless they
Okay.
changed the building code. They
I've
never,
heard the town of Brighton is 48. Most other places is 42.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
so I just noticed that it's 42 and typically it's 48. So
okay. I'll update
Yeah.
that.
I'm all set. Thanks.
Thanks, Brian. Couple questions or a couple points. Your 5-foot dimension is called out in two different parts. One, you have it off the threshold out, and the other one, you have it off the side of the house. So just verify your dimensions.
Yeah, when I fix that porch setback, I'll update that.
Well, you're calling it 5 feet from the porch setback. Look at your two different drawings. Here, you got it 5 feet on your survey.
Yep.
And then on your other drawing, you have it from the side of the house.
When I fix the drawing to get that porch setback, then I'll update the dimensions.
Yeah, so your stairs are actually going to be smaller than you propose. The other thing is just make sure your front yard setback is respected. That there is no variance if you're exceeding the front of the front of the house there.
Okay, I can double check it. I think we're
Otherwise,
in good
He's-
shape, but
maybe visiting
He's
another
good on that.
committee. Is he good on that?
He's good on that. Yeah. Stoops are allowed to encroach into the front yard setback.
Okay. That's all I have. So good luck, and you can call Jason's office in the morning and get our answer.
okay. I appreciate your time. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is 7AR-4-22, 30 Jefferson Road. Superstruct Architecture PC facade renovations to an existing retail structure. Are they here?
I'm here representing the owners.
Hi, go ahead.
My name is Steve Kruger, architect working with the owners in Costage, previously submitted for use variance on this site and planning board application. I prepared the architectural review board documents and worked with a local vendor for the signage application as well. So this is an existing building. It's been vacant for quite some time. It's used to be a repair garage. The current owners are looking to put a mercantile occupancy liquor store in this location. As you can see, the building's pretty dilapidated. So the architectural scope for improvement would be to pull down all of the existing board ups, replace the roof, take the chimney off of the roof that's no longer necessary, tuck point the existing brick, provide a architectural metal panel infill of some of the openings, and provide aluminum storefront in the window and door openings to remain.
Okay, do you want to present your sign as well on this?
Sure, we submitted a separate application, but the sign is, there's two signs on here. We're asking for a variance to have since this is a corner lot, we have to pick a primary facade. The owners have asked me to inquire about providing an additional sign on the west side. These are box cabinet signs, illuminated acrylic box signs. 2 at 32 square feet, 10% of the floor area would allow us up to the max of 150 square feet. The variance that we'd be asking for is to put one on the side.
Okay. All set? Fran, you have any questions on both the sign and the building?
So the sign, you said you haven't received the variance yet? Or it's submitted at the same time?
Submitted at the same time.
Okay. Okay, so we still go ahead and review it, Stuart? The signs too? Stuart?
Stuart, you're mute.
Fran, I was talking to you, Fran. Yeah, so we're reviewing the sign.
Okay,
And I believe it's the one that doesn't have the variance.
so that's the one on the front.
The west facade.
The west
Okay.
facade.
So
Okay,
we're calling the primary elevation the Jefferson Road elevation.
And
Okay.
And then if you have any questions on the building as well.
right, so that the president photos were, those were helpful, but could you just go over quickly the colors?
Yeah,
for
so
the-
if you go to the last page, Jason, of the architectural package. There you go. So we provided just some precedent examples of what we were looking to do with an existing red brick color, a dark vertical ribbed metal panel, just to provide some contrast. And then the aluminum storefront would also be a dark metal to provide that contrast to the existing brick.
Okay, so the panel would be a dark brown or dark gray or the red?
Yeah, dark brownish gray. And we're thinking it'll be a more in 12-inch wide with either a half-inch reveal or no reveal at all for a vertical.
Okay, those are all my questions.
Okay, Casey?
I think I'd want more specific information on what the vertical panel really is. The exact color and profile. It seemed a little, it's gray, it's brown, it's red. It might be big, it might be small. Not quite enough for me to really visualize what you're proposing. And then if we go back to the elevations. So the new storefront systems, they all have a hatch on them. Is that going to be clear glass, or are you suggesting it might be a spandrel system?
It would be clear glass.
Okay, so whole thing, top to bottom, door and even,
Transom.
okay.
Yep.
And both sides, including the east elevation.
Correct.
Okay, that's nice. I believe, let's see, hold on one sec. If I'm gonna go to A4 on my computer. Just wanted to look at the base. So if we go to section 3 on A4, at the bottom of the panel system, right now it is showing exposed CMU. What is your plan there for the base of this building where we have the metal panel?
So for the infill piece, it would just be an aluminum trim panel to match the metal panel to engage with the ground.
How would it fasten to that CMU?
So it'd come up behind that metal panel, attach either to the sill plate or directly. We could put furring strips on. I guess we haven't detailed it yet, but it would be like a trim flashing, a base flashing that would engage with the ground. So it'll either be on furring strips. We're doing concealed fasteners on the metal panel.
Mhm.
So we would either clip that to the base and the sill, so you wouldn't see the fasteners, is essentially what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just, worried obviously about durability and making sure it's actually, proper construction. And then what would this be up against? Is it a sidewalk adjacent to wherever you have the panel, or is it a mix of sidewalk and grade?
So the infills would be sidewalk.
Okay. Alrighty. I believe that was all I had for questions, so thank you.
Mary?
Well, first of all, I want you all to know that I had a rebuilt carburetor put into my 1968 Dodge Dart Slant 6 in this service station.
Still in there.
Anyway, to Casey's point about the materials, I think saying that these are the sort of things we want to use is not enough information for us, given that this is a simple box. The materials and the detailing, where one material meets another material, is pretty important. So that's all I'll say about that. And the other thing is the sign. It's cute, but I find that gimmicky signs, sacrifice legibility, and the speeds on Jefferson Road are such that, I think you shoot yourself in the foot a little bit, but it says wine and liquor. I guess that's what people need to know. And of course, people that go there regularly will know what it is. It's just not a highly legible sign. That's all, just a comment. Thank you, Stuart.
Yep. Andrew?
Yeah, I'd reiterate about the materials. I'd like to see the specifications on those in exact colors. I don't have, and to the point being made about the details, I agree that we need to see a little bit more detail to this. Overall, concept wise, I'm fine with the concept, but we need to see a little bit more to make a final decision on it. And I do agree with Mary's commentary that there's an awful lot going on in this sign that make it a little bit difficult to read. When I first saw the sign, I thought it was a vape shop, quite honestly, because it kind of looks like smoke coming on the top of where it says Tipsy. So, and there's a lot going on in that sign that's not going to be legible from Jefferson Road. I agree with that point. Is this the I forget the exact term that I'm trying to come up with, but is this being used as part of the company's name? Is this a image that is synonymous with Tipsy?
Well, I think it would, in all likelihood, try to be that. This is not a franchise place, so this is a one-off. This is the first of its kind for these owners. So I think that they would be okay with some constructive criticism of the sign. This was originally designed as a channel letter sign, and it was way more sophisticated. Obviously, with sophistication come costs. So they went to an acrylic box sign backlit. I think it lost some of its grandeur in doing so. I do think your comments regarding the distance and speed of traffic on Jefferson could go back and, maybe provide some reiteration of this to make it less complicated. And they could still use it as a branding technique as well, but maybe simplify the actual building sign. That would be the comments I would take back to them.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I'm good, Stuart. I don't have anything further at this point. Thank you.
Okay, Brian?
I was gonna say, when this was a gas station, you had the built-in overhead lighting and the canopy. Now there's really not a whole lot of lighting shown in the drawings or in the actual plan itself. So I was curious if there's what the thought is of lighting.
We haven't really discussed much of the lighting. The main premise of today's meeting, I think, was hoping to get some buy-in on the concept of using the metal panel with the brick, get some feedback on the signage. Certainly can come back with some detailing for the transition of materials and some lighting concepts. In essence, I think what would be best would be some building mounted lights. I don't think the soffits really support downlights. So I think we try to use some surface mounted stuff to the building. And I don't know exactly what Costage is proposed in the site plan for lighting, for parking lot lighting.
Okay. That's all I had, Stuart. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. I think everyone covered all my questions but one, and I know we've done this in the past, is dumpster structures. I'd like to see what that's going to look like. I know it looks like you got a couple of gates proposed and a walled in structure, so it'd be nice to kind of see what that's going to look like, because they do take a lot of wear and tear and can be quite unsightly in a pretty short time.
Okay, I believe Costage put some standard details of what it was going to look like on their planning board drawings, but I can certainly extract that info and provide some material support for it.
Okay, and that's all I have. Anyone have anything further? So you can look. I also appreciate your solid presentation. I know it's a lot of investment putting something in, and I think you're very receiving our comments quite positively. So we appreciate that. But you can call
Thank you.
Jason's office in the morning and get our answer.
Sounds good. Thank you all for your time.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Do we need to do anything separately on the signage, or because I
No,
know there was two
that's why
applications?
I combined the two just because I noticed you were last and then first. So I thought I'd hit them together.
Very good.
Yep. Appreciate that. Yep. Next on the signs is 1656. Is anyone here to present that?
Yeah, I'm here. This is Bill
Okay.
Price. I'm with SWBR Architects.
Hi, Bill.
Stuart. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so we have been to the planning board for improvements to the plaza. This has been purchased from a long-term owner to a local owner, probably back around the beginning of this year, maybe even February or so. And what we're doing to the plaza is upgrades to the site, making some better connections with regard to internal circulation, so that you can get around the back of the building without having to go on the adjacent neighbor's property to the east, and upgrading all of the landscape, both in the planters across the front, as well as adding new landscape islands to the rear of the parking lot, which kind of bleeds into the access drive, which then kind of bleeds into the parking lot of the design center. So when you're out there, you tend to see a lot of asphalt. So just a little background on the overall improvements. And one part of this is to add this sign. And thank you, Jason. This is where we would propose to put the sign. That particular island is going to get a little bit of a geometric change to it. So in the drawing in front of you now, you'll see that we're going to extend that so that we don't have a drive lane from the parking lot coming out toward that intersection. We're gonna block that off and have a little deeper queuing there at that internal intersection. So in addition to that improvement, we would like to put this particular sign black with white lettering, and to keep us within the code, we will only have room for 4 tenant signs. There's potentially a range of number of potential tenants in this building. There's currently more than 4, but the 4 largest tenants would get a sign on this. And at this point, there are some in construction, there are some new applications that are coming on, and new tenants that are being considered. So I guess I can't tell you exactly who in there, but the Dell Tile has a big footprint. So does ProSource, so does Space Swim and Leisure, and so does okay, I forgot, sorry. Sequels. Sequels is one of the is a furniture store that's in there. So the rest of the plaza is going to be power washed, painted, and none of the signage on the building is going to change. Everything that's currently there will remain the same. It's just this sign that we're asking for as part of the overall site improvements. And appreciate
Great.
it. Any questions or comments?
Fran?
Just you mentioned that this would be black. It says on the drawing that all colors are to be determined. So just want to verify it's black with white lettering.
Yeah, okay, yes. There is a chance we are looking at a color for the back of the building that is a dark charcoal gray. And they may, if they like that particular color, they may go with a dark charcoal gray, but it would be just a little bit lighter than this color. It would not be anything lighter than a charcoal gray, and with white lettering.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Casey?
Yeah, is this just gonna be one-sided or? both
Yes,
sides?
yeah, one-sided, and if I can finagle it, I would like to put the stop sign on the back of it so that we don't have to have 2 signs in the same location.
Okay.
And reduce clutter. So
Okay,
would like to do that, and so far nobody said I can't, but I'm being cautious about that.
all right, good luck with that.
I know,
I-
yeah, just one-sided though. The answer is it's
Okay.
one-sided. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. I was gonna say, and then it's non-illuminated, so will you have any kind of uplights pointing at it?
At this point, no, we will be bringing electric out here because we're running, we're going to run conduit between, unfortunately, Jason, could you go to the site plan real quick? I'm over answering this question, but if you could see the islands, Casey, along the access drive that don't exist today. We are going to run sleeving between the islands in the event that we end up putting lighting out there someday. We're going to start with the lighting where it's currently located, but new light poles and fixtures will be on the existing pole bases. The reason we're not adding more lighting is because these were built at 65-foot bays. So parking spacing today in almost every parking lot is usually 60 feet. This was built at 65 feet. And if we tighten up those bays, we could get more green space, but we would also have to change the configuration of all the islands that are currently existing along the front of the building. So we're going to stay with the 65-foot, but we're bringing electric out here and running conduit between those islands for any potential future lighting out there.
Okay, sounds good.
Very
And I would
well.
say I like the idea of the charcoal gray over the black.
Charcoal gray, fine. It's. me
But they're
too, I
both fine.
just- But I forgot I put TBD on there. So,
All right,
Uh,
thank you.
Mary?
Bill, is the lettering going to be consistent for the tenants, or are they using their own logo types?
No, we'll have a consistent lettering. We've picked the lettering style. The size will vary though, Mary. Because we'll try our best to keep it a consistent letter height, but I think with some of if they try to put ace, swim, and leisure on there, that's going to make the font smaller. The font will stay the same. If we can get them to say ace, swim, and try and reduce it, then we can get more consistent in the heights of the lettering. But that's the part that would vary versus the font.
So the font and the color will be the same for all 4 tenants.
Yes, correct. On this sign, it won't change.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
Andrew?
Yeah, all my questions have kind of been answered here. I am in favor of that, the dark gray over the black. Yeah, and all the other questions have been asked and answered. So thank you very much.
Great. Brian?
Just other than that, pretty much everything's been answered. The only thing I was going to say is if you go in and start figuring out text height and all that, start with your worst case scenario first and then work backwards. So
Yeah. We are working with that's a very good point. We're working with the tenants that we know right now. The new owner's been fairly aggressive and new improvements and, just showing some freshening of this is attracting others. And I'm hoping we don't go through this and then find that we have somebody with a real long name comes in.
yeah.
But we're going to try to get them to
All right,
short.
I think okay, I'm all set. Thanks.
Yeah, and Bill, I don't have any questions. I think everything was answered, and I'm good with the color that everyone else talked about. So
All right.
call Jason's office in the morning, get our answer. Anyone else have any questions before we close it? All right. Well, thanks, Bill. Thank you for your time and looking forward to seeing this project happen.
Yeah, should be a big improvement.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely. Thank you.
Okay. Stay well. Take care.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Next is 1658, 2601 Lockdeville Boulevard, a good sign company, directory sign, 5 tenant spaces. Fran, any comments?
Just the spacing between the number and the Lockdeville title. It's a little crowded there.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's a mistake or not. And then just just want some more detail on the slat vinyl lettering. Is the slat removable? Is it just adhered? Is there someone here to represent the sign?
I
Or are
know.
we just commenting now?
No, we were lucky, signs are not typically represented. by
Right.
applicants, so.
Right. Okay, so, yeah, those are my comments. It's a little, is there another sheet for this one? No, it's just there, like how is it? And just that I'd like to see a section of what this really is. It was hard to understand what's happening.
And do they have more than one? I saw that site plan looked like there was more than one
Yeah.
sign location.
No, the site plan is a bit more complex than it needs to be. She's indicating where these various views are taken from.
Okay.
The actual sign is letter E.
All right. Okay. Fran, you all set?
Yes.
Casey?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Fran said. We definitely need more information. What is the height off the ground? What is the box itself? What is the depth of it? It just says, well, I don't know what the actual, it's just a PVC box, but I'd want to know what the depth is, how high it is. What is this cap kind of structure going around the top of it?
Yeah.
What are the posts size and what is, material color? And then also, yeah, that oval, it's not centered on the V carved line and it does overlap with the DE, which is not ideal, obviously. So those were my comments looking at it.
Thanks, Casey. Mary?
I thought I just saw this sign today and it was already there. I agree with what has been said. I don't get what these, obviously there's a shadow line above the blue medallion, but then there's a rectangle, which I guess could be shielding a lighting fixture or something, or I don't know. And then there's another rectangle, which goes outside of the dimension lines, which I'm not sure what that is. So I guess we do need a profile or some explanation of that, how they're rigging this thing up. So yeah, agreed with all. Needs more info.
Okay, thanks, Mary. Andrew?
Yeah, I agree with all of those comments. Then the only other thing is whether or not this will be lit or not lit, internally lit, what their intent is with that as well.
Brian?
All of the above, and I was going to say in the image above this that they show kind of to the left, that little teeny image there in E, it looks like that sign is 16 feet tall. So, that's not really a good representation. So we need to know a little bit more about the depth of it. It could be 20 feet deep. We don't know. We have no idea. So I think we need more detail.
I think if you go to the last page in the packet, you'll see what the intention is on that island.
There we go.
In general, the graphics are lacking. And I don't know if it's just how it got emailed, but
Oh, that's the existing one? No.
No, that's proposed.
Well, because it doesn't have the line through it, through the medallion. So
it's not even legible, really.
No. Yeah, needs more info.
Yeah. Submit legible drawings.
And don't perch the boulders, dig them in.
What's this, the below that sign on the last page, it says 2 additional slats. Does that mean they didn't draw it large enough? What does that mean, 2 additional slats?
And it says 4 feet by 2 feet 10 inches. That can't be right.
That's what I don't get. Doesn't
So
make any sense.
I have a question for you all. So since it seems beneficial to have sign applicants attend based on the last 2 signs, I've only been working off tradition that I learned on ARB, but going forward, we can do whatever we want. Should I request that sign applicants attend?
Yeah, I would keep it optional. Otherwise, we may just end up adding more and more time onto our meetings. I think we've handled them well in the past. The only thing I would throw out to the committee, it's obviously this is a table. And my question to you, Jason, is did you get all the notes? Because then
I mean, what I do, because it's one of the nice things about Zoom is we're recorded, and so I go back tomorrow and just listen to the recording over and over and
okay.
collect stuff.
So I just asked the committee if they deny it or if they're going to table it.
I
Fran?
would say I would say table for more information. that
Okay,
we've looked at.
Casey,
Table.
Mary,
Table.
Andy,
Yeah, table.
Brian.
Tabled.
All right. So it's tabled as presented.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think the applicant will too. I guess I was thinking the only reason to deny it is if you had a problem with the overall concept of a directory sign here, but I'm not getting that from the discussion. It's more
No.
that you're okay with the general idea, but you need more details on the implementation of it.
There, just so everyone knows, if you don't already, which you may, there are other similar signs in this neighborhood. And I was there today at my eye doctor's, for example, across the access road, there's another sign existing. And I think there are 2 or 3 of them, and they all have the same kind of motif. So I don't know why this one is even coming in. But anyway, it's not a one-off. It's part of a group of signs. Or at least 2.
So what is submitted on paper looks like it is consistent with what is already there? You're saying?
Well, if we look at 2301, for example, across the way, I don't know if you can get a street view, Jason.
By the way, my eye doctor's over there too. Maybe we go to the same place.
Oh, we go to the same place, yeah, probably. No, that's the it's all RGH now, but they still have the directory sign. It's in the side road though.
Not
So-
Lockville.
So should part of our comments be match the existing signage?
I thought I saw that exact sign today already up, but I don't know, maybe they changed something.
On the way in or on the way out?
Listen, I couldn't see a damn thing on the way. I thought I might have gone to heaven. There was like
That's
there were
why I asked.
stars and light everywhere.
Well, I have to go back there to pick up contacts in 2 days, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, I think we just table it and
Yeah, it's on the side road, not there, no. It's
What side road?
or if you go down Lockville Boulevard and you pass that, no, down south. Okay, so I think is it Lec? No, I can't see. You're going too fast here. I'm trying to look for the medical buildings. They might be further down. No,
Yeah, you're in the townhouses right now. So go north.
no, those are the townhouses. Yeah, no, it's where does it say?
What's the name of your doctor? Is it Roy Kim?
Oh, no, here it is. Roy Kim, that's one building and the other one is across the road. So it's that road that tees with Lockville Boulevard. I think that's where the signs are.
Yeah, I'm Flom Eye Institute. I'm up further.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any.
yeah. So let's move on to old
Yeah.
business.
It's they're there, but I just don't know exactly the exact location. I don't remember.
All right.
So real quick, while we're on the subject of review, everyone, Fran, how about Bill Price's presentation?
I approve.
Casey?
I approve. Do we want to do a recommendation on color or doesn't matter?
Yeah, I think the charcoal gray is what was mentioned.
Yeah, that's fine.
Mary?
Yes, approve.
Andrew?
Yeah, I would approve it with the charcoal gray, and make sure that the text is all the same. That's one thing I can think that would change with applicants coming in. We need to, and I maybe just blanket all text for all the tenant signs will match.
Okay.
Stuart, excuse
Yeah.
me. I
Yeah.
forgot to mention, is it intentional that Winton Place is not centered horizontally?
I don't know. Maybe that gets centered.
Yeah, it might be better if that's centered, but maybe maybe they want it to the left so that they can have more room for the tenant names and have them flagged left.
Okay, possibly, yeah.
I don't know.
Brian,
Approved. I
Okay.
also call out the frost line at 42 inches on this one. Look at that, 2 in 1 day.
Nice. I think 42 is the new dimension. Okay, how about Tipsy?
Sorry, just quick on this. Was the charcoal gray and the text recommendation or condition?
Charcoal gray, I think, is a condition.
I think that the text should be a condition because that's what was presented, that all the tenant text was
Yep.
to match.
Yeah.
Yep.
The font, you mean, Andrew?
And then recommendation, Mary, you want to center place in Winton?
Winton Place, it's a question. I should have asked him. I just noticed it now. It's not centered and I don't know what the
Well, we
reason.
can recommend that they center it. It doesn't mean they have to.
Okay, that's good. That's a good solution. Thank you.
Okay, so 1655, Tipsy. Was that actually a formal presentation or is that just a quick review
For the sign,
on everything?
on everything, to me, it was a quick review. There's not enough
Informal.
presented. The sign is a different
So
situation, but the building itself,
we're just writing recommendations. We're not tabling it or denying it or approving it.
not approving it, not denying it. I need more information. I think we all need more information on what the
Nathan,
material.
Then
how
I
do you
think
want to?
that's a table because you can't just leave it in limbo, and I don't think gotta be
Well,
one of those three.
I
we've
thought
had
he just wanted
informal,
a concept review.
yeah, we've had concept reviews where we don't table it. We're just giving them input,
Are you talking about the sign or the building?
both.
Well,
What's it say on the
we
application?
can't do that because they submitted an application. So
Okay.
the code says you got 62 days to act on this. And
Okay,
after
so
that, it's a default approval, I think.
so tabled as presented.
Can we just do one at a time here? So for the sign, can we do the sign and then do the building?
Yep.
Yeah, that would be easier.
There's too much back and forth here in my mind. I can't keep it straight.
Yeah, I would prefer that too.
Fran?
So
Go
the
ahead.
sign, yeah, I really don't have an issue with the sign. I hear everyone, it's got a lot going on, but I don't have a problem with it. So I'm going to say approve.
You're approving the sign.
Yes.
Casey?
I would be voting for tabling, just because it is very difficult to read and I think the lettering is okay, but it's the added graphics that make it difficult. My recommendation would be to remove or revise some of the added graphics because it's the plume, the spilling wine, because it is taking away and making it very difficult to read.
Okay, Mary?
Yes, simplify, possibly remove plume, possibly shorten bottle, and then Bob's your uncle.
Andy?
Yeah, I would table this for those same reasons, to simplify the sign for easier readability.
Brian?
Same legibility, wine and liquor should be bigger.
True, good point. Actually, you don't need tipsy there at all, just put wine and liquor.
Exactly.
I think we have a few of those around town where it just says wine and liquor.
Wine here, right?
So I am in agreement. Let's table it for all aforementioned critique. All right. So On to 6AR-6-21. Or. So, Fran,
I approve.
Casey,
I am good with approving. Oh, wait,
Mary?
no, I would do, sorry. I would do approved with conditions because I'd want to clarify the material color. Because it was not, because they did have conflicting information.
okay. Mary,
I would agree with that. So approved. And are you saying, Casey, because you want the town to have a record of the material selection, right?
Yeah, and to make sure it's done correctly, because on the second page, it says bone white, but we actually
Right.
want it to be the clear. It's, if
Aluminum.
you zoom into one of the existing, so, oops, sorry. You go back, so that says bone white, which is incorrect. And if you zoom into one of the existing elevations,
It has the AC-1.
and it calls it out. There you go, clear aluminum ACM frame. So I'm assuming like just a clear anodized gray. So for color, we'd want it to be clear aluminum ACM, not bone white.
what's his? All right.
Unless
Mary,
we accidentally thought it was gray this whole time for the main building and it was actually bone white. That would
No,
be a
if you
mix.
if you go to the samples of the color, the very first one on the left column has a number code on it. No, you have to up, please.
slow down, yeah.
There it is, ACM1, bone white. Or if you go to the drawing, that is called out for that surface. That's the problem. It's just miscommunication.
Yeah, I know what it is. It's the ACM color is one color, but the matching color for that color, because it's a different material, is a Lucabon's bone white. So what he's trying to do is say that they're matching. The color is matching, but it's just called bone white in the
But
Lucabon series.
Isn't it a gray color?
The bone white is a gray color. It's not actually white. They just call it bone white. It's just a term. But I think what he's trying to say is that the matching,
Thanks, Jason.
what matches the existing is the bone white Lucabon.
I was gonna say, I walk by this almost every day. It is not raw aluminum color. It is definitely a beige, light taupe. It's not clear aluminum.
Interesting.
Yeah, just say
What
match.
did we
exist-
approve?
Well, we can say that it just matches, it should match existing, and then if it doesn't, don't have them come back in.
Well, now I want to know what we actually approved for this, for the original project. And did they install what we approved?
Well, let's find that out at another time.
Okay.
That's your assignment for next meeting.
And start clicking old links.
So, just note match existing or match previously approved colors by the Architecture Review Board.
There you go.
That's
perfect.
That
What
covers
did-
our base.
Didn't it say on the application that that's the one thing they wanted to change? I don't know. I
They
don't
would have to change the whole building then.
know. I just don't remember what they said on the application because we're only looking at one image at a time here. So it's hard to.
I mean, the application from last year.
No,
the
the one,
existing
oh, they
condition.
didn't submit an application for this. They just have this revision cloud around that whole.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, when we get this stuff that we've been seeing over and over again, it'd be really nice if they clarified what we said, what we agreed to before, or if you could pull that up, and then they could say clearly what they're trying to get approved, because there's a lot of stuff here.
So Brian, I'm back to you. What was your answer?
Approved with those conditions that the material matches existing.
Okay. Yeah, it's Mary, I'm back to you. It's probably a good idea that we have previous information available.
Yeah, just because when they're complicated like this, I
It
read the
doesn't
whole.
need to be, doesn't need to be available during the presentation. It can be sent out prior. So, or we, during the review process, request it from Jason to send it back out before the committee meeting.
Okay.
So that's approved with conditions. Next is 7AR, Fran.
Which one is this? The front porch? Oh, this
7AR1,
Yep.
yep.
Approve.
Casey,
Yes, approved.
Mary,
Approve, recommend a different base treatment on the piers, on the veneered piers.
sort of a natural stone treatment, right?
Yeah, something that gives it, yeah.
The wicking power
Yeah.
is subsided. Andrew,
Yeah, I would approve, but I would make it a condition, not a recommendation, that a base be applied to those piers.
Andy, is this Jeff Hawthorne's old house? Or is he next
No,
door?
I don't believe so. I think he's next door.
Okay. Brian,
Approved.
I approve as presented with the condition mentioned. All right, 7AR-2.
May I say one thing? I found the Brighton Commons that we approved and it was clear anodized. It was not an off-white or a bone white.
So maybe they couldn't do it clear anodized and had to do it in bone white, and then that's what they're asking for at this point in time.
Shouldn't they have come back to us for approvals?
Well, call him in. So have him come in next point. And then we just formally approve it.
So it's June of 2021 is when was the last time we saw them.
Don't give him a C of O.
I think that ship has long sailed.
So Fran, we're on 7AR-2.
Approve.
Casey,
Yep, I was good with this one too.
Mary,
Updated one.
Approve.
Andy,
Approve.
Brian,
Approved.
approved as presented. 7AR-3.
Yeah, this is a little odd. I mean, I don't know. It's a little awkward to me, but I don't know. I don't know. What do people think about this? What does everyone else, how does everyone else feel about this?
It's kind of clunky.
Yeah, it is clunky.
I mean, you know, we've seen these, but they're usually moved back. They're not prominent in the front. It's along the side. There's an awning. I mean, that's a lot of work to do for, I get what they're saying. They need this to be safe. They got, I don't know. I guess,
It's overthought.
yeah, I know. I guess, I'll just approve it.
Approved as presented.
Yes.
Casey,
I would be okay with approved as presented as long as we are specific of, I think we'd have to tell them the things we'd have to update, right? I mean, because his drawing, the railing,
Yeah,
Cap
he needs
doesn't-
to, yeah, definitely.
product he selected, and you have to revise the plan
Mhm.
to match the ins and out, the bump out or recess of the porch and adjust the stair widths accordingly.
Yeah, so his updated drawing needs to represent existing conditions.
Yeah, and then do we want to have him come back and show the skirt material? Do you think it's worth doing that?
I think I don't know.
I would
Would
say
love
no.
not to see it again.
Yeah, I just think our inspector can catch that.
Okay.
Is everyone all good with
Yeah,
that?
it's not significant. Yeah, that's fine. It's not significant. It's under, 16 inches.
Mary?
So I would approve on the condition that all drawings and representations of the work are accurately
Portrayed.
portrayed and submitted to the town.
Okay. Andrew?
Yeah, I would approve with that condition.
Brian?
Ditto.
I agree. And just make sure all setbacks are met and et cetera. 7 AR4.
Resubmit with materials called out, colors, profile, the roofing material, color,
Lighting,
lighting.
So tabling it,
Yes.
Casey,
Yep.
Yep, agreed, table. Need a lot
Mary,
more
Yep.
materials.
yes, agreed with all.
Andrew,
Yes, table.
Brian.
Table.
Okay, table it. All right. I would also add if we need to review the dumpster enclosure, we do that. Jason, can you verify that we have to do that?
I'll double check. Rick and I were having and this is still something I'm learning. And I'm struggling with the tradition of the ARB that you only look at things that are actually attached to the building. So
Well,
like
commercial
tiny-
properties are a little different.
commercial
from what I
properties are
remember.
different. Okay, all right, that,
Yeah.
'cause we
I
had a giant detached garage come in and I was surprised that it didn't need to go to ARB.
It
But
doesn't.
yet a tiny little canopy over a front door does, so.
Yeah, so
That seems
um,
inconsistent to me.
commercial properties, I believe we need to review all sides.
Okay,
And then I do remember in the past, we used to review dumpster enclosures.
okay. That's,
So-
certainly it's gonna be very visible, so.
All right. Especially if they were brick and wood and things like that, so. All right, any other comments or concerns?
Yeah, I was gonna have one that I realized after, at the two, let's see, elevation east and west, they're showing metal panel infill up at the kind of the peak of the roof. In the existing conditions, those are vents. So maybe I would ask, at least in the tabling, that they review existing vents and clarify what will be installed.
Okay,
If those vents are needed, then we don't want them to infill with metal panel.
Good catch.
all right. Well, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
All right,
Aye.
everyone enjoy the last week of July and we'll see you in August.
Ugh.
Good. Enjoy what we have left of summer.
Stay healthy.
Going fast.
Thanks,
Stay
everyone.
healthy.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Have a
Jason.
great night.
You too.
Thank you.
Night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.